guys, so this week we are talking about a specific dimension where our top 3 favorite animes end up in our world and have to live life like us. And my top 3 animes are Gundam 00, Death Note, and Gundam Wing. So 2 Gundam series, which obviously need to be completely changed in order to move into our world. And then Death Note, which is basically set in the same time period, but includes a lot of magic in it, because the Death Note is magical, I guess. The Death Note is definitely not scientific, so it's definitely magic. So in this dimension, Rem and Ryuk would both be human. That's the only non-humans involved in either series. But I think Ryuk, because he's kind of this Joker kind of person, I think he and Duo would be really good friends in this dimension, this world. And believe it or not, I think that without the Death Note involved, I think L and Light would actually be pretty good friends, because obviously L's not trying to figure out who has the Death Note, because there is no Death Note in this dimension. So they would basically have no reason to dislike each other. Setsuna, Hiro, and Light would all get along really well, and same thing with L. I think L would get along with them as well. I think Wu Fei would be completely, so same thing with Thierry. I think Wu Fei and Thierry would absolutely despise Misa, but I think Felt, Christina, Milena, and Misa would all get along really, really well. I think they would have a lot of fun together, which is weird because Christina and Misa are done by the same voice actress in the English version. But that's as far as like who would interact with who. I think as far as jobs are concerned, I think that Light would still like go in the direction of being a police officer, and I think obviously the whole task force, they would all still be police officers, and I think L would still be a detective. Light would obviously still be in high school, so he wouldn't actually have a job with the police station, but he would be kind of going in that direction. I think Setsuna and Hiro would both be police officers. Obviously, again, they're 15, so they'd be going in that direction. I think Duo would still kind of be doing what he is doing now. He'd be a mechanic, and I think that he would be working as a mechanic, even though he'd be in school. I think he'd still be working part-time as a mechanic. But yeah, I definitely see Duo doing that job, and maybe Ryuk too, but Ryuk's kind of lazy, so he'd probably be like the boss. Like, he'd be the owner of the mechanic office, and Duo would probably be his employee, but they'd get along really well. Trello could still be a clown. Trello could still work for the circus. That'd be okay. Who else would work in the circus? Ryu could do well in the circus because he looks like a clown, but he wouldn't look like that, so I can't really use that. Misa would probably still be like a performer. I think she'd probably be, no, I don't think she's in high school anymore, so I think she'd probably be in college and studying theater or music performance, something like that. I can't really think of any other like specifics, because so many of them are still so young. Like, all the Gundam pilots are all really young, except for Lock-On. Lock-On is an adult, as is Tieria. Well, I guess, okay, so Setsuna's the only kid, the only teenager, because what? Alia turns 19 at the beginning of the series. So Alia is 19, Lock-On's like 23. We don't know how old Tieria is, but I'm assuming probably in his 20s. Lock-On might work at the, for some reason I always look at Lock-On and think like mechanic. So I think that Duo, Ryuk, Lock-On, and Ian would all work in the mechanic office, the mechanic garage place. Let's talk about Alias Sachez. Alias Sachez would probably be a villain, obviously, but he'd probably be like some crazy guy. Obviously, I mean, he is crazy. So I really don't know where to put him, what he would really be doing. He has to be related to Setsuna somehow, so maybe it's Setsuna's uncle or something. I don't know. But I think that Setsuna and Alias Sachez would somehow be related. Same thing with Lock-On, somehow. Maybe Alias Sachez somehow manages to take over the mechanic place, and that's why Lock-On hates him. There's that. I don't know. Yeah. Ribbons, who would not be an innovator. He'd be just a normal human. I think Ribbons would probably, I'm assuming he's probably like the same age as Tieria, so we'll say he's like in his 20s. I don't know what he would do for a job. I mean, he was a butler in the first season, so I suppose he could be a butler or something related to that. That's all I can think of. But yeah, so I think that's what I would see in that. Anyway, so Tori will see you tomorrow.